Oh. Waiting for mine to load up. All right. Y'all let me know. Make sure you can hear me. What's up, Alabama Hammer? Someway, Clint Cole, Lance Anderson, Ryan. I know I saw Matt HM and TPG. I think I saw Jeff Bowery a minute ago. Tara, boy, that's a hard one to figure out where to put the spaces. Tara Azayas. How are you liking the Klein mod boxes? Let me pin this one. Over the pack out in your truck. So far, I guess I've had them in there for maybe little week and a half, 2 weeks or something like that, I guess now, which between Christmas and New Year's, I didn't really work all that much on purpose. And then I've used them quite a few times. I absolutely love not having to mess with that little metal bar. Doesn't bother me a bit. I don't know if I'll swap my other side because my other side's kind of got stuff in it that I don't get in and out that often, or I get it out pretty often, but not like 10 times a day. So I kind of like it the way that I've got one side that's the easy access and one side that's not. I may change them all over time, but right now, the side on the other side having the bar, how often I get into that doesn't bother me as much. Here's just fine. Appreciate that, Huda. Fairweather Makita fans here for the colored impacts and maybe that saw that will cut at the wall. Yeah, I actually watched a video today. What's the Daryl the Fixer or something like that? Daryl the Finisher. I think that's maybe his name. I don't know if any of you guys watch him or not, but I watched a video today of him putting in some can lights, and he was using the Makita drywall saw on the ceiling to cut out some squares to be able to run his wire. What's up, Erica? What's up, Sizzleneck? Pie Guy. Let's see. 10 Jammin' Ben. What's up, Terry Burton? I don't know if I missed anybody from the pregame. I think I saw everybody that was up here. That's already, they've either commented again. I don't think I missed anybody. Let me scroll real fast. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of went back. Let's see, this week I went to a doctor's office, one I work at pretty often, and hung 40. It was 36 canvas like paintings, and then they all had the 2 hangers, one on each side. None of them were in the same spot on any of the canvases, so I had to sit there and measure every single one. I almost debated on whether or not it would have been faster for me to move the hangers on the canvases and kind of make them all the same, but I don't think that was going to speed me up. So I went there this week, hung 36 canvases, and then they had like some other framed pictures with glass and stuff. I think I ended up hanging like 45 things overall, and then painted over some graffiti that somebody spray painted on their outside wall. So I was there pretty much most of the day. It took me quite a while, but again, hyper tough rolling cart for a job like hanging those canvases. If I had, because it was all over the whole entire doctor's office, and if I had to, pick up my level, my laser, my anchor box, my drill, all the stuff I was using to do that every single time and move it to each location where I was hanging a thing, it would have took me forever. So it's like how much time that saves is crazy. What's up, Wings and Pizza? Been a few weeks. Handyman Experience just put one out. I actually just saw that on my browse right before I came out here, so I'll have to check that out sometime. I don't know if I will tonight or not, but sometime. I think it was called something about over troubleshooting sometimes causes problems. What's up, John? Lowe's is doing buy more, save more on the mod box. Well, good to know. Somebody was just actually asking me the other day if they thought Klein would ever do that, like what Milwaukee does. So I didn't know they were doing that. I did go in Lowe's one day this week to get some wall anchors before I went to go hang all those pictures because I was kind of running low on my smaller wall anchors. So I stopped in there. So I was kind of in and out. I didn't look around much. I went back every time I go in there, I go to the back aisle clearance. But then this depends on what my time is between it and my next job, whether I kind of hang out going up and down the electrical tool aisle and then going over to the tool section. So normally if I go in there, no matter what, I go back to the buy more or the back aisle clearance, and then I go get whatever it is I'm getting if I'm trying to get in and get out. Hey, Wings and Pizza. Did get some new glasses this, I guess, last week, end of last week maybe. So they're new, a little bit bigger this way. I decided I'd go a little bit bigger. I'm still getting used to it. The prescription's different, which actually the glasses that I normally wear were 2 prescriptions ago. I never wore the ones that often between that one and this pair because I couldn't really wear them to work in. And even though they messed with them and got them to where they fit very well if I'm just wearing them, but working in them, like if every time I tilted my head down, they were kind of sliding on my ears and then coming down all the time. Like they'd be hanging in front of my face if I was like looking down at something, putting screws or something in. So I didn't wear them that much. I just kind of wear them as a wear them out to go somewhere type pair. But I just got this pair and I'm kind of, so really I'm almost like I'm looking, I went up 2 prescriptions instead of just one because the ones that I normally wore all the time were an older pair. Other day had 2 out of 3 hyperstec carts in use in one job. Yeah, I mean for $50, it's a very useful thing to have. Like even if you don't use it that often, like I said, it definitely saved me more than an hour's worth of time of picking stuff up and just the hassle of it. Like just, every time I was hanging a picture, my cart was sitting right there with everything I needed on it. So I just moved down to the next picture, did the same thing. And I'm going to tell you one thing, if you haven't figured it out yet, if you hang stuff for people and like say you've got a wall that's, 20 foot long and then you can put in there, you got 5 pictures, measure the width of your picture. Let's say they're 10 inches wide or something like that. You can be like, I've got a 20-foot wall. I've got 5 pictures that are 10 inches wide, and I want one to be in the middle of the wall. What is the spacing that I need for each picture? And it will give you, like, if you put that in GPT, it will give you how much space you need to go from like the end of the wall in to that first corner of a picture, or to the center, and then how much space you need to put in between each one. It's pretty simple. Like I mean, not that that's hard to figure out anyways if you just get out your calculator and do some stuff, but I mean, it's pretty simple to be able to do it with Chat GPT. If you do anything like that, you should download that just to try it. It's pretty nice. HD had the crescent folding card on display, really nice but heavy. Possible chance I might have one of those coming that I'm going to do a review for. The Sight Runner's a tank. Back aisle at Milo's has been pretty lackluster lately. Yeah, mine hadn't had any tools. They've had a Metabo pen nailer. Like I think Steve's Woodshop and Tool Reviews bought a Metabo pen nailer off his. And I think I want to say he got his for $59 or something. But that one that's been sitting back there at mine's still been like $109 or something along those lines. And I don't really need it. I mean, it's one of those that if I found it for dirt cheap, I'd go ahead and buy it. But I've got my M12 one and it's super nice. So I'm not sure if the Metabo one shoots a little bit longer nails or not, but I don't think it does. As long as they aren't quad focals. No, I wear those progressive no line transitions. I don't know what the technical name for it is, but Clint said, how is everyone storing their Klein newer adapters? Let's see. I think I still have mine in here. So I just took a mod box like this. I don't remember what was in this. I think it was a screwdriver. It was one of the ones that Klein sent me. I can't remember what the kit was that was actually in here. It's probably got a part number. Well, the part number's probably on the container. I might have that in here though. I don't remember which one it was. I might have finally thrown away the little insert. I think I did. So I just took the insert out of it. You can pop them out and just make it a empty case. So I just throw all mine inside of one of those like that. It'd be nice if they started selling those like that though, because I mean, who wants to? I just so happen to have an extra one because they sent me one and I didn't need it. I think, like I said, I think all it had in it was a screwdriver and some other stuff that I just took out and just use it, not out of a mod box. But they need to start selling stuff like that. What's up, Michael? Need bigger ears. I've had a fly in here. It's been driving me crazy. It's one fly too. It was in here today. I filmed a video today and it was driving me crazy. You need some Eric Dickerson rec specs. Yeah, I guess I could with those other glasses. I probably could have got some kind of a thing to put on them and that tightens behind your head or something as far as working. But I've always liked the pair I normally have worn, like probably the whole time I've had this channel, or been wearing glasses on the channel at least. I don't even know if I was wearing glasses whenever I started the channel. I don't think I was. I think I transitioned into wearing glasses since I've started YouTube. What's up, Steve? Steve, we need to do another split screen live one day. They are supposed to be, but I just got an email today from YouTube that they're supposed to be doing the live now to where it will go horizontal like this and then also stream in the vertical streams at the same time. And I guess they cut a section out of the middle of it. But best I could tell from the email, I couldn't find a setting on my phone that was going to allow me to set it up that way. Like whenever I was doing the live, I think you have to do it from the, like you'd have to record from a laptop, like using the webcam or something right now. So silicone the temple ends, help with the sliding. What's up, Captain Donitz? Math isn't hard to do. Yeah, but we got to make ourselves dumber by allowing something else to do the math for us long enough so we'll forget how to do it. Ultimately, what you do is just whatever your wall length is, and then say you had 10 pictures that were 10 inches, you know, you'd subtract 100 inches from that and then divide it by the number of spaces. But then you got to figure out a few other things with that too. But what's up, Champ Blazed? Do you like the Milwaukee? Let me see. Let me pin this one. I try to pin the questions and I always forget so that y'all can see what I'm reading. Do you like the Milwaukee M12 Impact over the M18? I do handyman stuff and paint full time. Which M12 should I get? They make two kinds. I use my M12 stuff way more than I use my M18 stuff. I personally like the M12 Surge, and I'd rather have it than buy a drill impact combo, even if it's the same price or whatever. But usually you can find a deal on the Surge or get it with batteries or something like that. That's my preferred. I've got the M12 Impacts. I hardly ever use them because I've got the Surge. I just like it so much better. And again, it's not just the sound thing to me. It just feels totally different putting in screws and stuff like that. But the M12 stuff for handyman stuff, I mean, I've even done framing and stuff with my M12. It's not near as fast as the M18 as far as putting stuff in. So it's going to take you a little longer, but you can do it. Now, I normally get out my M18 if I'm doing a big job or something like that. And it isn't even so much for the power or the speed. It's more so I can put like a 5 amp battery in it and not have to mess with changing batteries very often, which the M12 battery still lasts a long time too, if you run the bigger M12s. Miss Maintenance said I had an interesting job for him, but the wall turned out good. I was happy with it. Yeah, there's some kind of new thing going around where people just take random picture frames that don't match and random pictures and just throw them up on a wall. Of course, it's not that simple. You'd think it's, hey, just throw them up there and however it looks is how it looks. But you have to kind of figure it out. But then every hanger's like, there's no hanging all these pictures on the same line. That's easy. You just set up a laser line and start hanging pictures. But it was one of those funky things. I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there probably doing it. Probably saw it on Pinterest or something. Somebody said I don't have any, so I don't have any issues storing my Klein adapters. The fly's the hummingbird's cousin. Yeah, it's been out here like right here all day because I filmed the guess the tray today, and then I got it edited and uploaded. It was out here during that whole thing, and then later on I came out here and filmed another video. I might put it out tomorrow. And it was out here the whole thing, and it's still out here. I'm gonna have to get me one of them little sticky tape fly things or whatever to put out here. I came out here and actually turned my mini split off. I had it set for 65 earlier today, and then I just turned it off because I'm actually kind of hot out here right now. But it's not super. It's been really, really nice here like the last week, but I think we're about to hit cold again. I think it's supposed to be down in the 30s. But I mean, last or this week, like it was high 60s, close to 70s. Been pretty nice. Matt said he uses the 18-20 volt impacts for endless lags and large screws and entire deck, etc. But that's only 10% of the time. That's kind of the same way as me. I use my M12 way more than my M18 because it works for most things and it's just easier to handle, I think. Michael said he uses the M12 Surge 90% of the time. Let's see. Terrasias, again, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I have a bow fence extender and I'm trying to find a part. I wonder if it's a bow flex extender maybe to allow me to hang it from my trailer ceiling like a track saw holder. Do you know of anything like this? I'd have to look up what a bow, maybe you do mean bow fence then, since you're bow fence extender. I don't know what a bow fence extender is. I'd have to look that up. But I would think you could probably, I know what the track saw hangers look like Fast Cap has some, I think. I mean, you could probably make, I don't know how thick the thing is or anything like that, but you can basically make yourself, some sort of thing out of a small block of wood and then a longer block of wood of whatever, and then make a little lip on it so it hangs. I'd have to look up what it is you got, though. Matt said make something custom. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was, yeah. Some way said I'm hoping the new oil impulse driver has all the features of the DT20. So I think that's a Makita thing. Michael said I'm getting back to dedicated drivers. Keeping track of all the flip bits and adapters is becoming such a hassle. See, I'm right there with you on that. Like, I love my multi-bit screwdrivers, so I'm not going to say, hey, I never use them. I use them pretty often because I keep them in my bag. I don't like taking up a ton of, like, to me, to put a Phillips screwdriver, a slotted screwdriver, and multiple other screwdrivers in a tool bag is just a huge waste of space, in my opinion. I'd rather have multiple different pliers because those become more useful. But in my pouch, like, I very rarely use a multi-bit screwdriver. Like, because I only use those whenever I'm doing a specific job, and it's like, I know what bits I'm going to run into on this job. I'm not going to carry a screwdriver around and spend the time to flip from Phillips to slotted whenever I can easily just put 2 screwdrivers in my pouch. It's just way easier. That's what I much prefer. Steve said one of these days I'll come see your shop on the way to Louisville. Make sure it's on a Thursday. Yeah, that'd be cool. You got to tell me ahead of time. I have to clean up because back behind this is a disaster back here. It's not as fancy as your workshop, though, Steve, so you'll be disappointed. I'm using the M12 subcompact impact more than my M12 Surge. It fits in and out of my tool bags better. Yeah, a lot of people's been saying that. I've thought about getting it, but I don't think I'd use it that much. But I also don't put my Surge in my tool bags or my pouches. I usually use the Noster clip and clip it on my vest or clip it on my belt. On that Hyper Tough cart, I just clip it right there on the side of the cart. So I'm always clipping mine to something and not putting it in something. So I guess that's why it doesn't bother me as much. Miss Maintenance said it's called a gallery wall, so we do need a close-up of Flat Jeff. So the Bowery boy on Instagram is in the little Debbie card. I had to make sure I get him out right. I had to tuck him in like this, so you got to kind of go in at an angle. Then I had to stick a flashlight behind him to prop him up a little bit. One of these days, if I can ever get Miss Maintenance out here to make a sticker video, that I've got a bunch of stickers, I could put a bunch of stickers on my drawers. I can't get him back. There we go. Any new work on the garage? No, I don't think so. Because last time I'd already put my surge protector on the mini split. I've still got my stuff from my condensate drain sitting right here. It's supposed to, I got to go to town tomorrow to look at a job. May end up doing it while I'm there. I'm not real sure. And then I got to stop by. I'm going to see if I can stop by a customer's house. It's supposed to be real nasty tomorrow, like rain all day. I'm going to see if I can stop by a customer's house, and they're wanting to change out all the hinges on their cabinets. And I got to stop by there and see if it's the 1/4-inch overlay or the or 1.25-inch overlay or the 1.5-inch overlay, and then count how many they need, and then give them a price to whether they want to go back with non-soft close or the soft close. But no, I haven't really done much on the garage. I've been actually being pretty lazy here in the last little bit since I took off a lot between Christmas and New Year. It's hard for me to get back in the mode of it. But I've got one of the jobs I've been working on. We've been waiting on a plumber. He's supposed to be done this week. I haven't heard anything. And then I got another job where a plumber installed a shower, and I got to go fix everything that's around it, where they took out a shower and put one in. And then other than that, I've got a bunch of smaller little things that are all of my little jobs are just whenever you want to come do them type thing. Been using my 6-in-1 more lately, simpler to use and less parts to deal with. Miss Maintenance said she told me to cut the doorways live tonight. There's a lot to get done before I can cut doorways. I've got to take shelves down, put all kinds of stuff somewhere. Like over here, I've got a bunch of stuff I'd have to take down. It's not as simple, and there's electric in those walls that I can't cut through. I got to take down a bunch of stuff. It's not as simple as that. And it's over there by my router, and last time I was over there beating and banging around, it kept messing up on us. Same sort of weather here. As an artist that also curated art at a coffee shop and was in a group, I've hung a few paintings. I use the Klein Flip T20, T25 bit from the 15-in-1 in my M12 Impact. Have nothing to complain about. BOA is a longer table saw fence. Okay. Yeah, you probably would have to make something custom with that. And like I said, you can just make it, because all those track saw holders are just basically like a thinner piece of wood with another piece of wood on it. So whatever thickness that fence is, I don't know if I got anything close. I got some little vinyl boards over here to grab, but I mean, you just take you a smaller block like that, and then, you know, however thick you need to make it, and then put you another thing, and then if you need to put a little lip on this side to catch it so it doesn't come out. That's pretty much what those fast cap things are. That's all they kind of are. Or if there's a way to drill holes in your fence and not mess up the functionality of it, you could just put your 2 holes wherever you have framing and use 2 screws all the time and just screw it up there. What are the chances you do an updated video on the Inkerma laser tape showing why and what applications you use? some of the features like the Pythagorean theorem, etc. So I mainly only use mine for, which actually I just used it for hanging all those pictures because a lot of them were center of the room, and I just went in there and stuck it on the wall and boom, divided it in half. That's what my center is. But I mainly only use mine for stuff like that and then estimating and stuff like that. I don't really, I mean, I have used it just to try it out. Like whenever I did, if you go watch I want to say I've got two different Inkerma dual laser distance measure videos. I think I went a little bit more in depth. I can't really remember. It's been a long time ago. On the first one, and showed a couple of the things like how you can basically, as long as you shoot it at one point and shoot it at another, and it's got all the angles in there, like you can shoot down at the bottom, shoot at the top, and it will give you the actual height because it figures all that stuff in, does all the math of if this device is tilted at this angle and it says this and this. But the real ideal way to get an accurate measurement with that would be you'd have to put it on a tripod or something like that. Like it'd have to be like sitting still to get both measurements. I use mine for estimating. So if I was going to do that, so like if I was wanting to know, well, I need to know how tall this wall is, and it's way too tall for me to stick a tape measure up there. Looks like it's about 35 feet, 40 feet. I could use that and shoot at the bottom and the top. And then if it told me 38 feet, 7 inches and 5/16 or something, I'd be like, okay, 40 feet. You know, I'm never going to use it for, I need to know exactly what that thing is. So, but yeah, it does all kinds of things, but that's mainly the only thing I've ever used other than the give me a distance. And I think that's pretty much mostly about it. And then other than that, I have done it to get the height of a few things using one of those settings. I keep a multi-driver in my service call pouch, Tom said, but in my installs, I keep dedicated drivers in my bag. I use the Vessel electric screwdriver with the DeWalt bit adapter and a PB Swiss insider with the bit storage in it. So yeah, normally my MP2X pouch has slotted Phillips of the Vessel tang through ball handles, and then I've got the Vessel USB with a DeWalt bit holder. And if all I'm doing is running Phillips and slotted, whichever one I'm doing the most of, I will put a Phillips bit or a slotted bit in the Vessel and just use it if I'm doing stuff where I can actually use it to run the threads and all that stuff. But that's typically the 3 screwdrivers that I keep in my pouch all the time. Noster clip is on it also. Depends on how far I have to walk or where I'm going. If you use your M12 Surge a lot, get a clip from the installation driver or stapler, rob it. It's way bigger and better. Yeah, it is a better clip. Like the installation driver clip's a lot better. Oh, I did put some tint on my windows. So I did do that in my garage. I don't think it really helped much though, because I certain time of the day, like only for about 45 minutes, that if I'm so happen to be home and I come out here and I need to film something on this or do something, the sun just so happens to barely kiss right underneath my little overhang and come right through that window. And then the sun streaks is like right here. So I got some tint and it a little better, but still does it. But I put that on my garage door windows and my door window. I did that. What's up, Ray's Maintenance? Dreesen 45, how do you manage your work? Do you use an app or a software? I got an Excel sheet that I made for myself that has every month and then has like a main page at the front that has like everything comes from all these other pages and gives me basically where I'm at right now in my business, tells me how much quarterly taxes I need to pay, all that kind of stuff. But as far as invoicing and things like that, I've got my own invoices that are in Excel that I just get in there and, change. I've got usually like once I get a customer, I put all the information on that and save a master copy. And then I just make myself new estimates with each job that I do for that customer. But I don't use any kind of, jobber or any of that kind of stuff. all my customers pretty much just call me, text me, do that kind of stuff anyways. And I just never have felt the need to have anything where I'm paying for it, all that kind of stuff. I just made stuff myself. Like I said, I've got every month I can put in my jobs. I've got the categories built down to where I put in my job number and invoice number, how much I make, or how much I invoice on that job is a column, how much materials. So like as I put in a receipt for that job, I go ahead and add it and put it in there. And then I've got like a contractor column in case I have a sub on that job and I have to pay some out of that invoice total. And then it figures up how much I make on that job. I put in how many hours. I've got a column for that on that job. And then it calculates how much I made per hour. And then all that stuff goes to one main page and keeps up with, my business expenses, invoice total. Let's see what all categories of contractors total that I paid out. Also like, I've got a spot where I put my taxes, and it takes all that stuff and puts a percentage in a certain spot on that screen, tells me how much I need to pay for taxes throughout the year. So it pretty much all I do is put in, the only numbers I have to put in are how much my invoice is for at the end of the day, how many material, like as I get receipts and put it in, put those in, and then however many hours. And I just do that for my own self. I don't really need to know how many hours and what I'm making per hour. I just kind of do that for myself so that I can go back and look at a job. So if I go to bid a job later, that's, let's just say flooring or something, and it's a very similar job, I can go back into my invoicing software or my Excel sheet and say, this is kind of like that job I did last June. I'm going to go look at that, see how much that was. Did I make what I wanted to make an hour on it, or did I make more than what I wanted to make or less, to know if I'm kind of, whenever I go to estimate that job, I'll at least know kind of if I'm in the ballpark figure or not. So, but ultimately I just made my own stuff. I just use my own stuff. Long way to get to that short answer, I guess. Cutting through the wall with lots of electric in it, lots of views, LOL. I did cut through my electric over here in this corner on the outside whenever I was taking off to add in to tie my wall in. And I cut through it with a grinder, didn't flip the breaker, but then whenever I came in here later, none of my lights were working or anything else. So I had to, I've got it temporarily tied back together, but I'm just going to put it in a box and put a receptacle over there and then tie it all back in that way. Every repair remodeler has to cut a wire with a recip saw at least once. Ran a 1-inch auger bit into 8 cabling once. That was enlightening. 8-3 wire. Seen a few videos of the new 8-in-1 Milwaukee. Yeah, I've seen it. I would have got it just to review it type thing, but I'm not a big fan of Milwaukee handles on their screwdrivers, so I would never use it. If I bought it, it would only be to let you guys know what I think about it or something like that. And there's already enough, Project Pine Hills has one. I think Tools and Tactics had one. I don't think there's really much more I could say about it than what Project Pine Hills did. So I don't know that I'll end up getting that one. I don't think it's out at my Home Depot anyways. I'd have to order it. So 10 on Windows, growing something. Yeah, it is nicer. Like the sun's not blinding, but I still get the light streak. Like it's definitely like a lot less. Like if I was sitting here looking at it this way, it wouldn't be like hit me in the face like, oh, I can't see. So it's way less than what it was because that overhang I put out there on the front knocks out most of the day. It used to do it all the time. Like during the daytime, it used to just be coming in here like crazy. And I had to put up like bags over the windows and cover up this one. And now I at least only have like a small window where it does it. But you get one Section 8 person, you'd have to enforce it, period. Let's see. Actually, if it's housing, let's see this. Oh, I think it just skipped me down. Let me pull back up because some of that wasn't making sense. And I'm like, I think it scrolled for me and skipped past some. On my drill and impact, somebody said I have rubber 2-inch bit holders. Keep a DeWalt locking bit holder with the Phillips 2 and a short Makita holder with the T25. Champ said I was just trying to trick you into teaching me all the features without figuring it out. I'll probably never really use most of the features either. Yeah, and even if you do, you're not going to remember, which the good thing about those are they do typically walk you through, like, if I remember right, because the times I've used, I don't use it enough to even remember, but I think like if you go to that, it's going to say, shoot this measurement. Like it almost comes up as a picture to tell you how to go about doing it, if I remember right. Clint got the pink mini Lowe's buckets and some Ace mini buckets. In case you wanted to get more without buying a bunch more bits, the brand is Pros We. JCB76 said, I must have missed where he said something, getting something else. I don't know what the get more is without a bunch of bits. Hate spacing math, but can go on about accounting. Do you think Snap-on is worth a premium price on their pliers? Only if it's something that they're the only ones they have. Like the Talon grips, when I bought mine, they were the only people that made them. Even though I knew the Harbor Freight one was going to be coming out at that time, I still wanted to get the Snap-on ones because even at the time, I think it was even a year later before Harbor Freight even came out with theirs, and I wanted the 2 different sizes. And right now, I think Harbor Freight still only has the one. So those were the only Snap-on tools I've ever bought. Like if I was going to go buy a pair of, any other plier that another brand that's a good brand has them as well, and they're like half the price, I'm not buying, the Snap-on ones. Jesus Lopez and Klein Tools, baby. Quaz Keys. I'm almost still calling you Quaz. Would like to check out that Milwaukee screwdriver. Yeah, I actually did go back to, because I went to Home Depot too to get something. What did I go there to get? I don't remember. Something. But I went back there to see if they had it back there. Mine didn't have it out yet. Someway said, you know who has great handles? Vessel. Vessel's the only Japanese that's got great handles someway. Did Frankie say relax to you yet? Let's see. Message must not have come through. JCB76. Yeah, I scrolled up. I didn't see another. I was looking to see if I saw the first one you might have made, but I don't see it unless I'm missed it. But I scroll through it pretty fast though sometimes. So or Jesus. Miss Maintenance is saying Jesus LOL because that's how I read it, but I guess it's Jesus Lopez or yeah. What do you think of all this stuff in Minneapolis? Pretty crazy. Yeah. It's the world we're living in these days. Everybody's about half people are crazy. Local tool shop has the Milwaukee driver. Yeah, there's very few of there's a lot of the local places that have like the, uh, plumbing supply houses, electrical, all that. They've got the Milwaukee power tools, but they still don't like my rec sale has Milwaukee power tools. That's the only power tools they even have in there, but they don't carry any Milwaukee hand tools. It's all Klein and Greenlee. I think that's the 2 main ones that are in there. I can't remember if I saw anything else in there anymore or not. Annex is nice too. Sunflag's good too. Curican screwdrivers are fantastic. Gonna be hard to get me off the Vessel ball grip. By far my favorite screwdriver so far of all time. This one right here. Of all the years I've used a screwdriver, I haven't found any I like better than this one right here. Almost out of the weeds. Yeah, I've caught up kind of. The brand for the seller on Amazon selling a 4-pack of the Gen or I can't remember how you say that, but yeah, I've got some of those bit holders. I had a video asking about the best bit holder or looking for a bit holder, and I got some of theirs. That company actually contacted me in the last little bit, sent me an email. I didn't reply back to them yet because I don't think I want them to send me stuff. I turned down a ton of stuff because it's like I probably wouldn't the stuff they're wanting to send me, it's not something I'm probably gonna use, so I'm willing to buy that kind of stuff and try it, but it's not like I don't want a bunch of it. But their bits and stuff actually aren't that bad. What's up, Lexi? Just clocking out, she said, heading out to the shop for an oscillating fan for my niece, then heading to the car wash. LGCT, if Icon began releasing more color-coded handles, they would significantly reduce Snap-on sales. For instance, you can purchase 2 or 3 pliers for the same price as one Snap-on. Yeah, that's the same way, like I'm not going to buy a pair of even, like I'm sure, well, matter of fact, Snap-on just came out with a pair of like Cobra-style pliers, I think, in the last little bit. And it's like, if they're remotely even close to the price of Knipex, why would I'm still going to buy the Knipex. And even if they were, I think even if they were the same price as the Knipex, I'd still buy the Knipex just because I've used them and I like them. It's like, I'm not going to buy a pair of Snap-on just because they're Snap-on and more expensive. Like I said, now it's different if Snap-on makes a tool where no other reputable brand makes that same tool and you want a quality tool, then yes. Like if it's between, I can buy Snap-on or I can buy this, I throw in whatever alphabet soup name that you have no idea about, then yeah. But Keys said all his supply houses are like that. Keith likes the USA Milwaukee screwdriver handles. It's more so for me. I still run Klein drivers just because I've used Klein for so long that I still like, it's intuitive to me whenever I pick one up. Oh, it's a screwdriver. But it's the main thing I think for me, it's not, I don't guess it's probably that I don't like Milwaukee screwdriver handles. I'm not going to say I just 100% can't stand them. But it's like now that I've been using this, it's pretty hard for me to find another screwdriver handle. I still use the Kleins because I like their multi-bit drivers. And that's pretty much mostly all I really use of Klein. But like, I'm not going to grab a Milwaukee screwdriver now and be like, oh yeah, I'd rather use that instead of this, because it's like not even a comparison to me. Like I just love the way that, this works, being able to do this, and it's just a way better experience for me. It's what I prefer. So then any screwdriver I use now, pretty hard for me to like it and say, I'm going to put this in my rotation and take those out of my bag and put those in here. That's like, sometimes I do it just so I can try stuff like the PB Swiss drivers and stuff like that. Really good screwdrivers. I like their handles well too, but it's still pretty hard for me to say, I'm going to take my vessels out of my pouch and put these in there, because ultimately the whole time I'm using, I'm just like, I kind of want my vessels back. No robot cat litter box. No. Once again, Klein tools for screwdrivers. Those Snap-on Spain Cobras, that's the ultimate regret, right, Steve? Yeah, I think that's those are the ones that I remember. I saw it. Actually, a few of you sent me the email. Like Snap-on came out with a video about those coming out, and then they did come out. I knew somebody got them. I couldn't remember who it was, so Steve got them. We can check off laser, Lance Anderson said. And Tanner said those Snap-on, those pliers aren't even close to as good as Knipex, and they're more expensive. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there is another, and I don't, if it's Knipex, if Klein, if Crescent, or, some brand that makes decent pliers has a version of whatever the Snap-on thing is, and it's half the price, it's like, I'm not buying whatever. I don't care what it is, that Snap-on thing. Perfectly awaiting the robot cat litter box review. Matt said he takes all his Icon pliers and cuts the handles off and puts heat shrink on them. That is one thing I don't care for so much about the Icon pliers, is I don't like their handles. Like, so that is one thing Like, but I'm not be honest with you, I don't think I've got any of my Snap-ons in here. I think they're all in my pouches in my truck. I'm not a super big fan of the Snap-on handles because they're not much different. They're a little bit less spongy than the Icon ones, but honestly, I don't like the Snap-on handles either. Like, they're a little bit too thick. I'm more of a, I like the dip gripped, you know, Knipex. Like, this is my preferred, you know, grip right here, barely even a grip at all. So something like heat shrink that, you know, Matt's doing, I would prefer over this. But that's because I've got man hands. I don't need all that. I don't need all that comfort grip like some of you guys do. Notice Milwaukee had price increases again. The nailers went up. I did notice that I noticed some of the nailers looked like they were more expensive in the, I don't remember what it was I was searching for, but they were coming up. I can do Snap-on handles. They aren't like squeezing a wet sponge. That's why they're just as thick as the Icon, but they're a little bit more firm than the Icon. So I do prefer Snap-on's handles over the Icon handles, but I don't really prefer either one of those. I don't mind the Snap-on because they are like not squishy, but Tim did a few videos of him pulling the grips off. Yeah, Tim, Tools with Tim. I think I'm down. I weighed this morning. I think I'm down 12 pounds, I think, from, so I think I started the day after Christmas on my diet. So what, might have been the day after Christmas. And then New Year's Eve was the only day where I kind of, and I didn't go crazy off my diet, but you know, we were at a thing with some people and tons of stuff. So I ate stuff that I wouldn't have ate on my diet, but I think I'm down 12 pounds, I think. Just checking in. Everyone stay safe. We'll see you soon. See you, buddy. See you, Quiet. Keys. Still keep calling you Quiet. Let's see. The Jab 180 says, what do I think about Atlas 46 gear? Really good gear. Really long time to get it. Some of it anyways. I mean, I've had over the course of time. I did finally I sold my Saratoga vest. That was the very first one I bought because now I've got the Stratus vest and they've got a new version of that one out that I think I would probably like better. The way that they've got the webbing is changed a little bit. I think I would probably like the new one better, but I actually really love my other one. So I've had it on in a few videos, like in my garage video. I know I've had it on. I don't know if I've had it on any other stuff because I don't film a lot of those bigger jobs because I'm usually working around a lot of people. But I've got two of this style vest of theirs. Absolutely love them, and I think they quit making them. So I'm really glad I bought this now because this is basically an extra for me. The first one that I bought was the 1824, which has more of this mesh. Like all this is this mesh instead of being solid like this. This one is the 1819 or something like that. And they ran a sale and this was on sale for like $99. And I think I paid like $250 or something for my first one. So whenever I saw that, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and buy one so that if something happens to mine because I like it so much, I'll have one. And I'm glad I did now because I don't think they make these anymore. So now at least I have one, an extra one. I should have bought one in a bigger size though, so that I'd have a fat Joey vest and a skinny Joey vest. But I really love their stuff. I don't really care for I love their vest. I don't really care for their pouches and all that stuff that much. Or it's not that they're not good, but they're really expensive for what they are. And I just assume buy like holstery Joey pouches and stuff like that, and my Veto MP pouches for tools. I'd rather just buy those and clip them on the vest, but the vest I really like. And again, it's not that their pouches are bad. I would just rather spend that money. I prefer a holstery pouch over their pouches. I prefer a Veto MP pouch over their tool pouches. So I'd rather spend that money on those. My preference on handles are the dip plastic. That's why I will always love the classic channel locks. Knipex is one of the, oh, I almost said Nipix. I'd be getting in trouble, except some of you would say that was right. So Knipex is one of a kind. Pliers, reasonably priced. Like Snap-on will be their own downfall. I saw last best tool video on a socket set was worth, oh. Yeah, the price of Snap-on will be their downfall. Where do you think Tools with Tim got the idea? Matt said, yeah. So is the MCTP gone? No, it's in my truck. I carry that one in my truck all the time. So that one's I use it in lieu of having that one as my little bit bigger bag. And I keep basically my Klein, what was it, the ET 450? Is it 450 what the number is on that? The circuit breaker, not the circuit breaker finder, but basically the, tracer kit. And then I keep one of my meters, and basically it's like an electrical diagnostic bag. That's what I use that bag for a little bit more involved electrical issues. And then I just use my, other bags as just my day-to-day stuff. I did sell my TPLD. I sold it today, actually. So I'm one Veto bag down from the ones that I did have, because I was just getting where I got too many of them here, and I still have my SBLD, which I would probably run that again, maybe even over the TPLD. At the time, whenever I bought the TPLD, I bought it in case whenever I got the SBLD, I hadn't had an open tote bag in forever, but I got that bag for free. So I decided I was going to run it. And then I think it was the DP3, something that you got for free that year. I wanted to get a DP3, so I bought a TPLD in case I didn't like the SBLD. I'd have a bag with a flap, and I ended up liking the SBLD. So I never did put the TPLD like into work full time or anything like that. So I just decided I was going to go ahead and get rid of it now that I like the SPMC so much. And it gives me like if I still have a bag that's very similar to a bag that I might want to buy, it's a whole lot harder for me to take advantage of the spring promotion than if, oh, I don't have a bag like that anymore. I'm going to get that one and see if I like it. My favorite handle is the textured Knipex grip. Yeah, I do like the ones that are on like the Cobras and stuff. Joy said 12 pounds is awesome. Elliot said I lost 35 pounds when I got up and made my bulldog get out of my lap. LGCT's favorite handles is the Knipex insulated. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to run insulated tools, there's really no way around having a thicker handle. You pretty much have to, that's what they come with. Wings and Pizza said 12 pounds, nice. Ryan said 12 pounds, great. Doing anything in particular on your diet? So normally what I do is I just do intermittent fasting, and it really kind of just more so, I'm not going to call it 1 meal a day, but there's a window in which I pretty much eat. And it's normally sometime between whenever I get home, just depends on what time I get home. And then I try to quit eating like at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and don't eat anything after that. And then I mostly eat like kind of carnivore style. Not necessarily strictly carnivore, but I just try to eat stuff without sugar, low carb, cut out any kind of drink that has even the fake sugar. And like, I don't even eat like fake sugar stuff, because it's the same difference to me of gives your body the same response anyways as having sugar. So I don't drink like I've not been drinking Monsters or stuff that I might normally drink. I just pretty much water and black coffee, which is what I drink most of the time anyways. But I get on kicks of drinking a diet something or other, or like a, something zero. I've never had a problem losing weight, but I always, at some point, it's a diet that I don't necessarily, it's not that I couldn't stay on this diet my whole life and do it this way. It's just, there's so many things in our society, especially if you're a person who goes to, church and church functions and stuff like that, or there's a lot of people who I go do work for and they pay me with, a pie or something like that. It's so hard to just be like, I'm 100% never going to eat a cupcake again or a piece of pie, or, and nobody wants to live like that anyways. But whenever I'm in losing weight mode, it's 100%. Like, but that's just that's how I am as a person. Like, I forget what Miss Maintenance calls it. Like I'm a certain way about whenever I set my mind to something. Like there's no talking me out of. Hey, if I decided I'm not eating any sugar, like you couldn't come in here with a box of Little Debbie's and say, here's some peanut butter cream pies. I'm not going to eat them because I've already decided, I've made up my mind. I'm not eating any of those until I hit a certain weight. And that's how I am. Like even I'll look at the back of, some kind of a jar of something and have one of, that's not even a big deal of whatever it is that I'm kind of cutting out. And I'll be like, no, can't have this. So I normally do that until I get to closer to a weight. And if I could ever convince myself, this is what I can never do just because I like eating and I like food so much, is like you just add in a little, or even if I said to myself, today I'm going to have a Little Debbie peanut butter cream pie this week. Like I'm only going to eat one, or something like that. But that's not, that's not how it works with me. So normally I lose the weight fairly quickly if I set my mind to it. And then it takes me like a year and a half to get back to the weight that I don't like. And then I do it again. And it's probably not the best thing for you to do for sure. I'm sure it's not easy on your body, and it is getting a little bit harder as I'm getting older. Like used to, I could shed it in no time. Like I could lose 60 pounds in a month if I wanted to. I use a pass load gas framing so much lighter, Michael said. If it were up to me and I did it very often, that's for sure what I would buy. Like I would not frame all the time with like these Milwaukee framing nailers and all that kind of stuff. They're very nice to me for small, but like if I was going to use that 8 hours a day every day, no way, would not do it. And we not like we even work 8 hours a day most of the time, but it's usually more than that. It's like I just can't see myself, way too heavy in my opinion, to use something like that. And the pass loads are a lot cheaper. And if you're going to use it in that kind of volume, it's not that big. The only thing I don't like about the pass loads is because I never used a nailer in that kind of volume. So then it never failed. Like you'd buy a gas cartridge and it just seemed like next time you get it out, it's gone, just because you opened it or did whatever. It's a lot better if you're just going to be using it up and actually going through them. It's not that crazy of an expense. You put it on your estimate anyways. You factor it into the job. It's not a big deal. Some might be happy if he could gain 5 pounds as long as it's muscle. I lost 12 pounds by emptying my pockets of Little Debbie's. Joseph Schuler, late to the group chat. I prefer thinner grips because I get a better feel on tool manipulation. Not everything is kung fu grip. Yeah, that's the same thing with me. I like being able to feel it. I've got a better feel for what I'm doing the thinner the grips are than and it's not that I don't like comfort grips, like the Knipex comfort grips. My first pair of electrical installation pliers, because at the time that's all they had them in. I bought a pair of them. I used them. It didn't bother me to use them. It's just not my preferred thing. I prefer not having them. Elliot said if I could find a girl that loves me as much as Frenchie, I'd put a ring on her so fast. Quiet Vibes just got the Tech MCT. Can't believe how much stuff I packed into it. Yeah, you can put a ton of tools in it. And the way that it's kind of set up, you can put a lot of stuff in it, but it really almost won't let you overload that bag. That's what I said. It's one of my favorite bags, the blackout version or just the regular Tech. I don't know which one you've got. They're both really good bags. I like the blackout a little more just because those pouches on the flaps, it's a little bit more useful. Although you can't really cram a lot of stuff in those pouches, even though you got them. You got to put pretty thin stuff or else it just puffs your bag out real bad. But I still prefer it. But both of them are really good bags. Dipped Knipex, especially the Cobra texture. Wish they had more of that handle. Yes, it is the 450. I must be back in the weeds. That was a long time ago. What's everyone's thoughts on the new Tech SCT? It's not for me just because it looks like to me one whole side is kind of set up to be for a tablet or a laptop or something. And I don't use one of those, so some way said he has trouble with the fat grips. Tom had to crawl an old nursing home attic yesterday, paying for it today. Yeah, I started wearing those Klein knee pads. Mainly that's where I wear them is in attics because you know, you sit there and you go across all those joists with your knees and stuff. By the end of it, my knees would be killing me. And it's not that it's not even something that it's not something I necessarily notice while I'm doing the work, but at the end of the day, like it's pretty bad. And that makes a big deal. It makes a big difference wearing those in attics. Been good boy using a bump cap in attics now. Fake sugar confuses the brain. Pancreas link causes hard crashes. The nails to the head, though, you feel that through your whole body. Yeah, whenever the roofing nails come through that sheathing and you're working over in those far corners, you got to be pretty careful. It'll get you. Pass-off guns stink. Hey, some people really like that smell that they put off, but it's probably because they're used to it, I guess. Gas station, Miss Maintenance said gas station monsters turn into other bad things for me. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like if I'm on my diet, I don't stop to get myself a drink, like at a gas station. Like I'll go in normally and get myself a monster. And then, but while you're in there, you're like, might as well get this, whatever this is. And there for a long time, I got on a kick. 5 Star. I don't know if y'all have 5 Star gas stations wherever it is that you live, but they had this cinnamon roll. And I normally drink black coffee. I'm not even really a fan of most things where you put stuff in it. But they had this cinnamon roll cappuccino thing, and I really like cinnamon like stuff. So I got some of that, and I was like, man, that is really, really good. Well, then that made me start getting like coffee creamers and putting it in coffee just because I was trying to replicate the taste. But every time I went in there to get one of those, they just started making these chicken and waffle and bacon sandwiches that had 2 waffles, a piece of chicken, and then bacon, and then they had syrup or something on there. And I got one of those because I walked by and I saw a sign. I thought, man, that sounds pretty good. And so I ate one of those, and it was like one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. So then I got on a kick of eating those. So yeah, it's definitely good if I don't go in gas stations. The Tech MCT can be a trap too. Not many horizontal space where I work. I recently ordered the Mellow Tough MCP01, basically the TPLD from AliExpress, and the quality seems legit. Yeah, I've seen a few videos on the Mellow Tough stuff. I haven't seen one in person. Like somebody, I think it was Matt, had a picture of they have like I think it was the Canadian Tool Addict. Is that what the guy's name is? Had the like TPXL infrared version or a TPXXL infrared version of that bag, and it looked pretty nice. Clint said he's eating dinner, getting bigger. A monster turns into a roller dog and an ice cream. Wings and Pizza said. Chicken waffle, what? I can actually hear you getting fatter. Tommy Boy reference. Me and Miss Maintenance watched Tommy Boy just the other night. It was chicken. It was 2 waffles, it was a sandwich with the waffles as the bun, which reminds me of the King of Queens episode where it's the 2 pizzas as a bun, but the 2 waffles basically as the bun, a piece of chicken, bacon, and then syrup was on it too. They only have them out for like breakfast time. I don't think they serve them all day. And I kept going in there just to get that cinnamon cappuccino thing, and then every time I'd walk by, there'd be that chicken and waffle sitting there. It was the Mellow Tough MCPO2, Apache said. That's the TPXXL clone. Yeah, I mean, if you can get a TPXXL clone for $70 and it's remotely good quality, I mean, that's a big price difference. $70 to, I don't remember what the Veto is, but I think seems like it's up there. It's one of them $200 bags at least, I think. If it's not, it's barely under two, but I think it's two something, especially the infrared version. So if it's even remotely close, that's a pretty good deal. As long as it's not too Krispy Kremes for a bun. They could do 2 peanut butter cream pies and then do all that in between that. Banana Havoc, I might actually get the TPXXL one. I'm not sure if my pouch is going to fit the MCP01. So do they have a TPXXL one that's not the infrared look, or is the only one they have the infrared look? I've never even looked them up, like, as far as I've just seen them in the Tools and Tactics videos and some pictures like that Matt or somebody else has sent me, but I've not seen, like, I've not went to whatever website. I don't know if they're on Amazon or AliExpress, it looks like, or whatever. If only veggies tasted like steak. Y'all keep talking about gas stations and monsters and something worse, and I'm thinking something else. Banana said the XXL comes in black and camo too. Yeah, because I know a lot of people don't like the infrared look, which it's my favorite looking bags, but I like red and black. So, like, if I had the option of you can get any bag and infrared's an option, I would probably always pick that infrared version. There's a place around here that has a burger with 2 grilled cheese sandwiches as buns. That sounds pretty good, actually. I think I've actually heard of that kind of before. Michael said they have a few on Amazon, but he's never been on AliExpress. Yeah, I don't think I've ever got anything off of AliExpress either. Is AliExpress kind of like Temu, or what's that other something gate, DC Gate or something gate, or some kind of website that's that too? We have a local cow. It's 2 grilled cheeses for buns. DH Gate. Miss Maintenance just said DH Gate. Yeah, I know DH Gate stuff sells stuff. My brother-in-law bought I don't remember what kind of ring it was. Maybe it was an engagement ring. He was going to buy off of it to try it and see if it was any legit. This is back a long time ago, like when it was first a thing. And I remember he got it, I think, and then it was fake because it turned like stuff like your fingers green or whatever else. But I remember that, and then I think my son might have just bought some stuff off of it to see some like fake Ray-Bans or something like that. I don't know, but he hadn't got them yet. I don't like shopping on sketchy websites. Yeah, I don't normally go to stuff either that I don't know. That's like and some of them, as far as I can tell, they're not even sketchy, because many people have told me, like, I haven't bought anything off the Chad's Toolbox, even though there's a lot of people I know that have said that's where they get their stuff, because it's usually a little bit cheaper there than whatever it is. Like if you're buying something Vera or something like that, it's normally a little cheaper there. There's also maybe like a Mr. or maybe it's Mr. Toolbox, and then there's a Chad something or other. I can't remember what the actual name is, but I still never bought anything off of those. I typically stick with Amazon, eBay, uh, Home Depot, Lowe's, and then occasionally I have bought a few things off Ohio Power Tool. I have bought some stuff off Acme Tools, which, I mean, those are legit, things. But there's very few times I've kind of went and bought stuff off of some, I don't know anything about this type of website. Tom's got quite a few things from there. It's hit or miss on being worth it. $70 may be a gamble. AliExpress is basically like Temu, but has better products, is what Banana Havoc says. Which, Amazon's starting to put a lot of garbage stuff on Amazon because they're letting a lot of the third party sell. You got to be careful whenever you're shopping on Amazon now to see if it's shipping from Amazon or if it's shipping from some third party thing. And then you got to decide where's that third party thing, because I think there's actually like a lot of the Temu stuff and all that kind of stuff's actually being sold on Amazon too now. So you got to be a little bit more careful buying on Amazon than what you used to have to be. Clint's done eating fried chicken, texting with greasy fingers. Somebody told you to get you some super slick stuff. Clint, clean your hands right up. Yeah, so the guest the trade this Saturday is Veto SPMC and then a Husky tote that I hadn't ever seen before. It's like a 14-inch tote, I think it is. And then I've got a video I might put out tomorrow that I filmed today. I'm trying to think of, I don't think I've really got anything else coming that I can think of. I got a gift from a subscriber in the mail that's pretty cool. I haven't decided if I'm just gonna show it one day or if I want to make a video. I'm kind of waiting because I think I got some other stuff coming too. I was gonna make like a subscriber gift video, was kind of why I didn't bring it out tonight. That Husky pack out like system, that's rather decent. Steve said bought NWS off AliExpress, came in as the SMU, which is NWS upside down. Yeah, I saw your video on that. That's kind of funny. Lexi said mom was a demo reno lady before she got sick, but she loved her gimmick tools. Yeah, I used to buy stuff like that just because I was interested in seeing how stuff worked. But anymore, I have just found that a lot of and I'm not talking about screwdrivers or, strippers or something like that. But there's a lot of tools out there that are the multi-use ones. Like I used to carry a Gerber thing around with me that I absolutely loved, and I ended up losing it. And then that kind of got me. But I don't really use the stuff like the multi-tool stuff very much. I'd 10 times rather. It's kind of what we were talking about earlier about dedicated screwdrivers and stuff. Most of the time, I just soon have the tool that does what it's supposed to do, like, and that's it, because that's all I'm doing with it anyways. And I don't want to have to go through the other features and stuff of it to get to whatever it is I'm doing. But sometimes they are kind of nice. What mount would you recommend for a laser level? So I kind of showed in one of my lives how I mount mine to my third hand pole. That's how I typically mount mine. I always use the one that came with my Bosch just because I've got it and I really like it. It's got a mount for drop ceilings. It's got a mount to, put a screw in somewhere. It's got the micro. You definitely want something that has a vertical micro adjust. Whatever mount you get, that's a big deal to have because it makes it so you don't have to, whether you put it on a pole or whether you sit it somewhere, it gives you like 4 inches worth of room of moving your horizontal line up and down. So you don't have to I'm going to put this stuff under this and try to get it exactly where I want it. You got a lot of room for play. So that's what you want to look for. Now, Hoopar sells theirs by itself. I can't remember what the name of it is. Like they've got multiple ones. It's pretty good. I mean, I still like my Bosch one better, but it's actually pretty good. Like the quality of it and stuff. I had one. I bought one a long time ago. I think it was even before I had a YouTube channel. I think I gave it to my buddy that I work with because I just use my Bosch one all the time. I kind of bought it to try it because I think the Hoopar one had a little bit more micro adjustments. Like you could move it, the vertical lines left and right with it than what my Bosch actually even has, but it didn't have the ceiling grid clip and all that kind of stuff. And I do a lot of ceilings sometimes, so I need that. I had to have that. So that's what I end up using is my Bosch one that came with my Bosch laser most of the time. Amazon doesn't have any Tough Veto knockoffs yet. Amazon keeps losing packages that get transferred to USPS for delivery, RRTO8 said. Yeah, I hadn't really lost many packages over the course of me doing this, or especially like companies sending stuff or doing whatever. But in the last little bit, there's been like, I was supposed to get a Woobin X1 Pro or whatever that was that came out, and I never got it. Like it said it was delivered and I didn't get it. There was also another, I think Workhorse, whenever they sent me, I don't remember if it was that HD03 or 2 or whatever it was. One of those two got lost in the mail, but they sent me another one. The X1 Pro from Woobin, they were out of them, so they just didn't send one, a second one. But I never, there's been 2 or 3 things that's got lost since in the last couple months. USPA delivery around here is a bunch of lazy slackers. What's my most used M12 tool? Trim connoisseur said definitely the M12 Surge by far, not even close. And then after that, probably my oscillating tool. And then after that, probably my circular saw. And then after that, it's probably a mismatch of a ton of things that I probably use equivalent, like whether it's installation driver, detail sander, bandsaw, M12 pin nailer, M12 brad nailer. All those probably get used equivalently, the same, just in different spurts. But circular saw, oscillating tool, and M12 Surge are the 3 I use the most. I would think a camera tripod would be perfect for laser level. Am I wrong? It's okay. Depends on how good your camera tripod is. I think mine's in my truck. Sometimes you have to spend a lot of time leveling one of those because you got your 3 feet that spread out, and a laser level levels itself, but you have to be within a certain, degree. It can't be like totally cattywampus sideways. So sometimes whenever you start spreading out that far, it causes things. If you're outside, especially if you're inside on a, subfloor slab or whatever, then yeah, it's fine. But usually a camera tripod will also only get you up, yay high or something like that. And like, so if you're hanging upper cabinets or taller pictures, that won't ever get you up high enough to get your horizontal line. So that's why I like the third hand. I keep it in my truck, and then I can use it to hold up stuff, use it kind of like a zip wall type system if I want to, hold up a cabinet, hold up whatever. But then I can also throw my laser on there and get like, I think I can get up to 12 foot tall on my horizontal beam using that. So that's why I typically use it and don't carry a camera tripod around with me. I've got a tripod leg system that I can put on my third hand. So in a way, it's kind of the same thing. A lot of tripods have a foot up and down adjustment. Yeah, the main thing for a tripod for me is the height. It usually doesn't get me up tall enough. Just a standard type one. Can't wait till they release the new next gen M12 Surge. Yeah, 100%. I'll be glad when they do too. I got the new M18 one. You said I know they got the new M18 one. Actually, the new M18 one is really really good. I hope they do whatever they did to it on the M12 whenever they do it. Like if they're able to get it all fit in that same package, I hope they do it. Klein has an okay tripod. I've had a Bosch one before. Right now, I own a camera tripod. I might even have 2. I don't know if I got one up. I used to have another one up there. I don't see it though. I've got one that came with something. I don't even remember what it was that it came with, and I use it for filming sometimes, like around here or something like that. Right now, I'm using I always use my rigid. It's a tripod for comes with like 3 things. I think it's really made for lights or something like that. I can't remember what I bought it for. I think it came with you could screw like 3 different lights on it if you wanted to and kind of make yourself a big light kit. But I've been using it forever with my phone to film stuff because I like it because the pole is like, which I did create something. I think I put this on video before. Obviously, I can't show you right. Well, I guess I could take the phone off, but so it's this rigid tripod. It comes up, it's got 3 different, so like I can take this loose, that one loose, this one loose and extend it. I can't remember how tall it goes, but I put a piece of, it come with 3 of these that you could mount lights or even a laser on if you wanted to. So I took a piece of wood and put it in here to get my camera farther away so this wasn't in the way of my feet all the time, like if I'm standing here filming something. And then you can also take this and tilt this and then get this one to where it's by its tilt this. I wasn't on the screen. So tilt this and then use this one and have all, but these things all spread out so you could put lights on them. But I used to use that with my laser as a pole as well, sometimes, and it would get me up tall enough to put in like upper cabinets and stuff like that. So that one worked pretty well, but it wouldn't get you up tall enough to do like something taller than that in a room. Checking. I'm waiting to see if I'm in the screen. I think I'm good. Yeah. What about a Trammel tripod? Don't they make taller ones? I know they have at least a bubble level in the base. Yeah, my camera one's even got a bubble level in it to where I can get it kind of level. Makes it a little easier. But I don't know about that though. I used to use this one for my laser most of the time until I started filming YouTube videos. And whenever I first started filming YouTube videos, I don't remember what I was using to hold my picture, maybe just even a small tripod. I think I just used a regular tripod, and then I got tired of stepping all over the thing, so then I did this. Now you can see my vintage deck. Someone needs to make a mount that is pack out compatible. Mount. Oh, like a laser mount. Yeah, so Milwaukee has, like with their lasers, because a guy we were working with had one that moved like that hoopar that I just did a video for. Except for I think on his you could set up it's kind of like the way the Stabilas are. So like the hoopar one didn't work in a way where you set this piece of equipment over here where you want it, press a button, and then the laser finds it, and stops on it. You have to manually make it stop, but it's still super nice. Like the fact that that thing moves, I mean, that is a game changer on that hoopar laser that I just did a review for lately. Uh, I didn't even know that was out. If I'd have known that was out, I'd have probably already bought one. Like I didn't even know it was a thing. They actually emailed me and asked me about sending me a laser distance measure that also had a cross line laser in it. Like you could press a button and it would do a cross line, like you could set it somewhere. And I emailed them back and said, so does this thing work like it self levels itself, or do you have to make it level for the cross line? Because I didn't see where they had room to really put like a pendulum or anything like that. And it was a pretty small piece of equipment. And then they told me, well, they were actually running low on that and they were going to wait maybe till a later date anyways, and asked me if they could send me that laser instead. And I was like, absolutely. Cause I didn't even know this was a thing. I for sure want this. I was like, I've been wanting one of these for a long time where I could move it by myself with a remote control. So it's really nice. .3D printed mounts, so you can take camera mounts quarter 20 into them. They probably have pack out mount adapters on Etsy. Yeah, there's people 3D printing just about anything. If you can, you have to figure out how someone else would word what you're looking for. But if you can figure out the words to use in a Google search, there's just about anything out there. Like if you just got to figure out what somebody else might call it. Because like whenever I was searching for the Klein to, Milwaukee adapter and all that kind of stuff, I don't think that one was very hard to find. But there's lots of stuff that I've found that you just had to figure out what words somebody was using to be able to find it. Yeah, and for the longest time, I used like one of these to put my phone in and out of. And then now that the magnet things are on there, and somebody sent me, the mag cases and all that kind of stuff, that's been that makes a world of difference. Even just doing that, just being able to snap it on there, take it off real fast, and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole lot easier. And that's pretty adjustable, the little thing I've got right now that I made. I've struggled with that, not knowing what stuff's called. That's the way I am in plumbing because I don't deal with plumbing materials often. If it's like some kind of weird thing, I mean, the normal stuff, I know what all of it is, but all the time I'll go into a plumbing supply house. So, like, if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you just look around till you find whatever that specific fitting is that you can't remember what the technical name for it is. But you go into a supply house and you got to tell them what you want. And you're always like, it's the thingamajigger that, if you're going to do this, it would be this on one side. And so you got to sit there and try to explain it all. Dickie Doo said, good work light, Milwaukee Rover, any good? So depends on how much you want to light up. Like just a good general work light, like to light up enough for you to be able to see everything in front of you in your room. If you're working close, the M18 Rover light's my favorite one just because the runtime is amazing and it puts out most of the lights that I'm ever going to need. Now, if you're wanting to light up a big space and sand drywall or something like that, then that's a total different thing. Like you really need multiple lights probably. I normally put up just my regular lights and I put on a headlamp if I'm doing that. So I'm actually seeing like right in front of me. But 3D printer is such a game changer at work. One of the weld robot jigs had a broken nylon cradle. Typically, we need to get a machinist to mill one. We took the CAD file and had one in 15 minutes. Question about lights. The third L, Miss Maintenance said. It's the doodad with the thingamajig on the other end. Yeah, I've had that conversation with multiple. Usually I take something in there. I'm like, I need it to be this to this. And it's only because it's like there's weird names that I might use that fitting 10 times in the last, 30 years, and I don't remember what it was called. No ladders, though, for an additional L. LED bathroom light fixtures are going in my house. They must have 10-year lifespan. I'm a bigger fan of if I'm going to buy an LED fixture, I'd almost rather it take bulbs. And that's what I always recommend to my customer. Although they are harder to find that way, I'd rather have a fixture and just put LED bulbs in it because I can't tell you how many times I run into somebody's got like 5 matching fixtures down a hallway or this or that, or in their living room, and they've got like 2 matching fixtures of some kind in a dining room that have integrated LEDs, and then one of them goes bad and it's far enough down the road that they aren't going to make that light fixture anymore. And sometimes they're pretty hard to get into them to try to repair them. And even if you do, they're liable not to match exactly the same lighting output or something like that. So I prefer just buying fixtures and putting LED bulbs in them. And then if they go bad, you can change out the bulbs in this one. And even if the bulbs are different, you can change out the bulbs in the other one, and make them match again. Because I have that happen way too much with people where they want to replace or fix a light. And I'm like, it's not really an option. You can't find that light anymore. So you either got to decide, do you want some light fixtures that don't match, or do you want to replace more of them? Which it isn't a big deal if you're somebody like, some of us where we just do it ourselves anyways. It's not going to cost you that much money, just another light fixture. But if you have to pay somebody, to come out and do extra work, it must have a bulb, Matt said. Terry said, my dad was a plumber. Son grabbed me a 90-degree long sweep quarter bin closet with a reducing spigot. Yeah. It's got that part where you grab when you twist, you can extend and retract it. And then you say, you know what I'm talking about. Sizzle next. So that's what I've been doing, replacing them with the socket. Yeah, the integrated LED, sometimes it's nice for compact stuff because you can't really get as compact as stuff that has a bulb in it, but it's just depends on the situation. Like if it's the only light in a room and it's always going to be the only light in a room, I'm not as concerned with it. But like a ceiling fan to me, to have the integrated LEDs, it's like pretty good chance that light kit's going to go bad, which sometimes you can find light kits to fit it, to switch it out to something else, but then the finish might not match it exactly. And, you just get into all kinds of stuff. And then that's a lot of time involved in, you call somebody out there, like if you call me to your house to my lights on my ceiling fan aren't working, and I get out there and tell you, it's this light, the whole light kit's bad, you need to replace it. And then I've got to spend the time to find you a light kit that's going to work and all that kind of stuff. It's like nobody really expects to pay somebody for that, but that's a lot of time involved in that. It's like you gotta, if I'm gonna have to spend an hour or two on the internet and then going and picking up something else, or doing whatever, it's gonna cost you more on a service call bill. Now, one thing that has been nice that they come out with on most of the LED stuff is that color changing. That's made a big difference because, especially like on drop-in lights and grid ceilings and stuff like that, you can occasionally, change it out to a different one that looks the same, but it's a different brand if you can't find that same exact model anymore or whatever it is, and then adjust that light color to match the rest of them. And that kind of works out. So that is kind of nice that they started doing that pretty much on all of them. Remember that not a light I sent you a while back? Yeah, I'm kind of I bought a bunch of 8-foot strip lights to put up in the section of the garage over there. And then I'll probably put it down these. I had enough because I think I got a 8-pack of them or a 10-pack of them for very little money. But they also are like the plug-in type, or you can link them together. Normally I wouldn't buy that, but I went ahead and bought them there because I think I'm just going to put receptacles up in the ceiling anyways. And then that way, anytime I want to change a light, it's just a matter of, whipping one over and plugging it in. And they were so cheap that I was like, that's just what I'm gonna go ahead and get. I think it was like 10 lights for $140 or something like that. I've been learning slang terms off West Coast Man's Discord. Mm-mm-mm. 2700K is warm light, not bad. It's the 6500 ones that glare horribly. I'm more of a white light or below. I don't like any of the ones where you get up to where it's like super bright. Like I'd say probably like 3500, 4000 in that range is where I typically like mine, as far as just for my own personal. And now in my house, it's probably more, even less than that. But now for a workspace, I don't mind it to be a little bit brighter. But once you get up into that blue stuff, it's like that's just way too bright for me. Sirens outside, yeah, I hear them too. Miss Maintenance has been inside watching wives kill their husbands show. So I'm out here and alive right now, so it's not the sirens for me. Maybe later. The living room can be a little more cozy, 3.5 or 4K. I think 3.5 is typically what I set my home stuff on, I think. Little yellowish, but mostly whitish. I don't like it too yellow because then it's kind of dingy looking, but I don't like it blue. She's just been watching to do her studying to figure out how to not make certain mistakes. She's been training for years to where it's going to look like an accident. So if I'm ever in an accident, you all will know what's up. I'll go ahead and tell you now, I won't have ever killed myself. On record. Wings and Pizza said she's gonna knock you off and sell your tools and retire. It'd be like that meme of I hope my wife doesn't sell all my tools for what I told her I paid for them. Y'all can get some good deals. she'll be like, yeah, you can have that. It only costs $5 for that Veto bag. So I'll sell it to you for $2.50. So far, so good on the mini split. I haven't ever had to turn the air on yet, though. I haven't even tried it on the air. I probably should have done it, but I mean, the heat's been fantastic. Like, I mean, 10 minutes. It's up to temperature in here in 10 minutes. All the way from like, it can be on 50 and I can set it on, 68 or something like that. 10 minutes, be 68 degrees in here. I've had all my stuff to run my condensate line because I'm going to try the dehumidifier feature on it, because since it has been warmer like the last couple of weeks, which I'm still running my regular dehumidifier still in here running. So, but I'm planning on, I think I'm gonna move that down in my other section, and that one has the deal on it where it will drain out. I used to hook it up over here, and I had an old outside water spigot that came out the side of the building that wasn't for water, but I hooked my dehumidifier to it so that during the summertime I'd go out there and open that and just let it drip out of there. And then that still made it look like it was just a water faucet outside instead of a hose coming out of the wall. So I might end up doing that over there on that side if I can put it up somewhere so I don't have to empty it all the time. But we'll see. Miss Maintenance, the USA Figure Skating Championship is on. So yeah, so the won't be long too. You saying the skating thing reminded me of the Winter Olympics will be coming before too long. What's up, Nasty HVACR? Try the AC now before the 60-day mark. I convinced my wife that she needed the Hyper Tough folding card. I mean, it's pretty useful. Like I said, I could see like people using it for even certain things in their house, if they move stuff around very much. Like I said, I never had really even thought about getting one. And I think it was Matt that told me about it and sent me a link to it or something on Walmart and said it was back in stock and they were really good. And I bought one and thought, yeah, it'd be pretty handy. But I mean, I'm seriously, ever since I've had it, I'm just like, there's certain jobs that if I didn't have it, I'd be miserable, like doing them that I've done. And I wouldn't even thought twice about it before, just the way I'd normally do it and pick up all my stuff. Normally, like if I was doing that, I would make myself a bag or take a pack out crate or something, put all that stuff in it and keep picking it up and just moving it from spot to spot. But night and day, even getting the stuff from my truck to inside sometimes at some places, it's super nice. What brand mini split? It's the Tosot, TOSOT. I think, yeah, TOSOT. It's the 24 and a half seer, like a Aokari, something like that. I can't remember what the specific model on it was. It's a 230 volt, 12,000 BTU. Matt said he's the one that told me and showed me a tech pack on it. Wings and Pizza said Mom used to make us watch the Olympic figure skating when we were kids. It was like punishment. Yeah, Miss Maintenance actually likes watching the figure skating. I don't care nothing about it. I do like some of the winter stuff that they do. I don't mind. Like, there's several Olympic events I don't mind watching. It's not like I just live for it or anything, but I don't mind watching them. Not a Mr. Cool. Miss Maintenance said, I can't even stand up on ice skates. Those people are crazy talented. Yeah, and you don't think there's really that much to it. Like, you used to go roller skating a lot as a kid because back whenever I was a kid, skating rinks was like a big deal. Like, you go on Friday night and hang out with everybody. But like, we went ice skating one year with our church group. We took a bunch of the kids and went ice skating for like a, you know, reward for something. I don't remember what it was because we don't have one like close. We had to drive to another town to do it. And I don't think I ever got to where I wasn't using like the crates that you hang on to or whatever. It's way harder to me than roller skating for sure. I guess it's maybe more like roller blading, but I don't think I ever did that. Like, I always just did roller skating, but man, it was pretty hard. And also I was older. I think it's hard. It's really hard on your ankles. My local Walmart selling off Christmas hyper tough tools, $5. RRTO8 said. I dig 2-on-2 women's volleyball. The guys are all right too. We know why you like the 2-on-2 women's volleyball. Now, in all honesty, volleyball is one of my favorite things to watch during the Olympics. Like, it's just neat. And for whatever reason, I don't ever watch it like just normally because sometimes you could watch it like, and plus, I think I do like the 2-on-2 a little bit better than like the most of the team ones. There's like a ton of people out there, and I like the 2-on-2 a little bit better. The luge, bobsled, skiing, the ski jumps are great. What's up, Wyatt the pilot? Joey Holloway said men's ice hockey is the best winter sport. Go Canada. Yeah, everybody always tells me we're not too far from Nashville. So you got the Nashville Predators. And I've never gotten into hockey. I like playing like, was it Blades of Steel or something like that on the Nintendo? I remember playing some kind of hockey game on the Nintendo, but you could also fight on that game, which was what made it cool. Other than that, like I couldn't even tell you really necessarily like what positions do what in hockey, but everybody's always told me you have to go watch it live. Like you watch it on TV, it's not the same, and like you won't ever really get into it unless you go watch it live. But I've never went to like a live hockey game. Clint's been watching YouTube videos that women slap the crap out of each other. Nashville Predators, oh my, sounds like a murder docudrama. I'm not sure how long the Nashville Predators have been there. I think they've been there for a little while. I could probably name maybe 5, 6 hockey teams if I really sit down and thought about it. I don't know a lot about it. Same thing with soccer. I've never got into watching soccer, and my guess is like hockey and soccer, positional wise, pretty similar type thing. Like this person does this, goalies, all that kind of stuff. But I don't really know what certain people on the soccer field do either. I've never really played it other than just kicking a ball around with somebody else, but not really like played it to know rules, positions, all that kind of stuff like that. Matt's asking what's for dinner. Well, Clint had fried chicken. We know that much. And then I think was it Tom that said he had some chicken he was going to go heat up? Somebody else. I think it was Tom. Watching anything new on Paramount Plus? Clint asked. So we finished through season 2 of Yellow Jackets, and then we realized season 3 you have to have like I don't like that about Paramount Plus. Like certain things you can't watch unless you've got a certain package or whatever. So now we can't watch season 3 unless we pay more money, and I'm not paying them more money. It's kind of getting weird, anyways. So we watched through season 2 of that. So now we're kind of in the mode of finding something else. I don't think we've started anything else yet. There's tons of shows on there we're planning on watching, but we haven't started one yet. TPG had baked salmon, air fried potatoes, applesauce, and a cinnamon roll. Robert had leftovers. That's what I had. Miss Maintenance put a roast in the crock pot. I ate a little bit of that meat, and then I ate a hamburger patty that I had left over. So mine was partly new stuff and partly leftovers. Need to start Landman, Mayor of Kingstown. Your package is acceptable. Taco night for Joey Holloway too. Wyatt the pilot had pizza. Yeah, pizza is one of my favorite things. That's the only bad thing about that's the one thing I told miss maintenance about being on the kind of diet I'm on, because I'm a big meat eater anyway, so it's not really a big stretch for me to eat what I'm eating. But the one thing that I do like miss from time to time, again, and once I get done losing the weight, if I can talk myself into, hey, you can have pizza, just can't have it every day. Uh, that's one of my favorite things is pizza. I like pizza. Terry had chicken and rice and steamed cabbage. I watched a cooking video today of a guy making, I didn't even know what it was, but on the Everybody Loves Raymond episode where it's Deborah Makes Something Good, I think is the title of it. And she makes Bergeau, and then there's a big thing where Ray actually likes it because it's a big thing on the whole show about how her cooking is horrible. And then, Marie gets all mad about that she's made something good. Well, I was scrolling through YouTube and somebody was sitting there making Bergeau, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. And I've been curious to know what that is ever since Everybody Loves Raymond. So I watched somebody make it today. It actually looks pretty good. Sonia makes pizza. I think she's going to make one tomorrow. If your subscription includes a Showtime series, Billions is a decent show. Yeah, so we did watch uh, the Dexter. We watched all the original Dexters a long time ago, like back. I mean, really long time ago, and it's been a long time since we even seen that. But there's two of them that it won't let us watch on the thing that we've got. But whatever the one is that came out after the original ones kind of quit, where he was supposed to be dead, and all that. I don't remember what the season thing was for that. We watched that one. Channel name Morgan's Maintenance, and what we're eating tonight. Oh, this whole conversation always goes into who knows what whenever we just start talking about stuff. It's mostly the same people in here every Thursday, and we just talk about all kinds of whatever. New blood is what it was, Miss Maintenance said. Terry got the TP3B today and sent the TP4B back. Preferred the smaller bag for little jobs. Yeah, there is a big difference in the size of them too. So if you want something like, even though they're not that huge difference, it is quite a big difference. As far as if you're wanting something small, the TP4B is a little bit big. Been watching your channel for a while, but only the second live show. Normally, it's on Thursdays at 6 my time, which is Central Standard Time. So depends on what time zone you live in. Unless something happens, sometimes stuff happens, and there's something going on that I can't get out here on a Thursday. And usually, if I can't do it on a Thursday, I do it some other day. We usually still do it once a week most of the time, unless there's like Christmas week. I didn't do it on Christmas, which was a Thursday, but then we did it on a Saturday. All right, let's see. Tonight, I'm going to give away some Vessel ball grip holders. And just because I give away stuff on the lives don't mean I'm going to do it every time, but these are pretty small. I'll be able to fit these in some kind of little. Actually, Miss Maintenance, though, told me she can't fit stuff like this, so I might have spoke ahead of time. She might still would have to go. I probably shouldn't have done this because she might still have to go to the post office. In my mind, I was thinking, well, I can just stick these in an envelope, but she might still. I can take them and drop them off at the post office. She can't, but we'll give away 2 Vessel ball holders. Now the question is, do I give them away to one person, or do we do one? Each person gets one. I think I'll do each. I think I'll give away 2 of them, and you get one, because then you can use it like a stubby if you don't want to use it like a bit holder. Nope, post office for those. You'll send them to Canada, right? I don't know. I'd have to check and see how much that would cost me. I'm telling you, shipping in the U.S. is crazy enough. The more so the thing about shipping to somewhere else besides the United States is it's you got to fill out, like, even for this, you got to fill out like these crazy forms and all that kind of stuff. It's not as like, I definitely don't ship anything that has batteries to other places because they actually kind of, sometimes the post office will, even if you say, oh, it doesn't have anything, that like they search it and see what it's got. So I'm gonna take the two jokers out. We'll see. We'll see if you win one. If you win one, we'll find out. It's been $11 at least for me to send, yeah, care packages. Yeah, that Klein laser that we gave away last week, which Michael, I don't know if he's still in here or not. Hopefully you should be getting it sometime soon or whatever. I shipped it regular. We just basically wrapped it, but even because it wouldn't fit in a priority package box. So I think Miss Maintenance wrapped it and just shipped it. So it might be coming like a little bit later than a priority thing. But I think it was like, $14 or something just to ship that thing. GoFundMe to ship to Canada. If you can pick somebody from the comments to send them to. If I win, you can pick somebody. So let's see. Let's think of a question, because normally if I do the pick a number on a card, y'all, make sure you're on all comments. So like if you're on your settings, make sure it's not top comments and you're on all comments, because then you might be out of order and think you're first or whatever. Let me think of something. Or actually, Miss Maintenance, if you can think of a question, you post a question, and it's the first person to answer Miss Maintenance question gets to play the high-low game. She's usually better at asking questions. She said, I know what you can ask. So Miss Maintenance is going to throw a question in the comments, and you guys, it's the first person who answers that. That should be a little bit better too, because then the delay might not matter as much if she actually texts the question out. So she's got one. So Michael got the laser today. He said it showed up today. Waiting on a Miss Maintenance question. There we go. How many pounds have I lost so far? So yeah, there we go. Ryan Pie. So we've got 12. Matt said 13. Now, if I went there and weighed right now, Matt would be right. But as far as this morning, whenever I weighed, we got 18, 15, 5. So Ryan guessed 12. So he gets to play the high-low game. So this is for Ryan Nargang. I still haven't figured out if I say that right or not. I need to figure that out, because you sit there and guess the trade stuff. I need to figure out how to say your name probably right. Let me go ahead and shuffle these a little bit. I don't know if I can do I kind of don't want to do that with these. So I'm just gonna do this. So we got, make sure I got one card. Yeah, it's almost 2. Ooh, that's a hard one. 10. High or low on the 10 for Ryan Nargang. Nargang. Okay, good. I was saying it right. Low. Oh, got you by 1. All right, Miss Maintenance, we need another one. And put them on the bottom. I'm going to leave this just like it is. We're not going to shuffle them anymore. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that we said in this live or recently that you could use for a question. What did he say is his most used tool when he asked earlier? That's the next question. Pie Guy says Surge, 12 Surge, Vessel USB. The Vessel USB could be in there, but earlier I did say the Milwaukee Surge when I was asked as far as what's the tool I use the most out of my M12, which she didn't ask that, but we didn't have a conversation of talking about the other tools where I said screwdriver. So we're going to go with the M12 Surge, which is Pie Guy B1P. So here is your card. Ooh, King. I'm going to guess what you're going to say, but I'm going to wait till you say it. High or low from a King? Pie Guy B1P, which I think is going lower. Alex, make sure. Oh, I guess do you go again if it's that? I don't know that I've ever played it to where you like if you get the same card, I don't know what that does. It's kind of a draw. So we'll go one more card. We'll make that the rule. If for some reason you draw the same card as what you got, we'll go again, and we're gonna say that you said low 2. So you got one of them. So let me send me your address. I want to say you changed your name. What was your name before? I know I've shipped you some stuff, I think. Was it, I'm trying to think of what your name was before. I already forgot it now because you've been this for a while. So we need another question, Miss Maintenance. Russ Albright. Yeah, that's what it is. But like I said, I think I know I've shipped you stuff before, but go ahead and send me your email or your address because I'd have to go back and find it. But me knowing that, though, at least lets me know when I get your email, I already know that it's you. So we got one more. So we got another question. Be watching for Miss Maintenance's question. It doesn't. Yeah, she says ready. What's up, 5 Ghost Shadow? I did get your stuff in the mail. I hadn't decided if I was going to make a video and show it with some other stuff I got yet. So, but I appreciate that. Where was the flat Bowery when the live started is the question. Matt said the Debbie truck. Michael said the Debbie truck. Clint said the Debbie truck. Everybody's saying in the Debbie truck. So this is for Matt HMM. Make sure I got one. Sometimes I grab 2. Yeah, that's 1. Queen. Higher low than a queen. Matt HMM. Pretty sure you're going to say what I think you're going to say, but I'm going to make you say it. Lower, he says. Lower than a queen. 2. So Matt HMM is the second one. So Russ Albright and Matt HMM Vessel Ball bit holders. I was still confused by the flat Bowery and still am. So that's Jeff Bowery is on Instagram. I don't know if he does anything on YouTube or not. He's on Instagram, at that Bowery boy, Jeff Bowery, that's in here sometimes, and that's his sticker. He's sent me that sticker. So it's just a little sticker of him. And I've been Steve's Woodshop and Tool Review. Sometimes if you look around the background of his videos, he's been hiding them in places too. So I just started sticking him places. So Matt and Russ Albright. Put my card back up. And Matt, I've got your address. So let me know cost of shipping, Matt, on the Metabo. Maybe I'd be able to get one from you. I missed whatever Metabos y'all was talking about. What's up, Joseph Muhammad? So it was an off-site reference. Terry said, "Thanks, Amanda, for the question." Well, it's not necessarily. Well, we talked. He's been in a couple of the last few videos, but yeah, we talked about it on the last live too. I think I had him out on the last live. I can't remember. Jeff wasn't in here very much tonight. I think he's working, so didn't come up as much as what it sometimes does. I wish I would have bought more of those whenever they were on special. So my video for tomorrow, I bought I don't even remember what the package was of this, 10, 20? I don't even remember how many it was whenever I bought it. I think it was a 10. So the video I got coming out tomorrow will explain why I'm getting rid of a couple of these and not keeping all of them that I've got. So you're welcome. That was fun. So I'm going to get off here. Fun times. So we'll see y'all Saturday in the Guess the Trade chat if you're available. What's my favorite stripper? MG Harrington, the Knipex Forge wire stripper. Actually, my favorite one is the Knipex electrical installation plier, but it only does 10 and 12, which is what I do most of the time, so that's what I use a lot. But the Forge wire stripper is the best, more versatile one, I guess I'll say. Have a great rest of your week. Not everyone see you. So hope everybody has a good rest of your week. Finish up the week strong on your Friday work day. I know for a lot of us, especially depends on how you work and who you work for and all that. Sometimes in our line of business, a Friday means nothing, but hopefully y'all have a good weekend and we'll see y'all on Saturday. And like I said, I might put out a video tomorrow. I've got it uploaded. I just hadn't decided if I was going to put it out tomorrow or not. So we'll see y'all on the next one.